Okay, we are live. Shift. Enable. Good afternoon, one and all. Today we have with us Dr. Javed Ali, uh, professor and head School of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Jamia Hamdard University. Sir is going to deliver a talk on this academic leadership and governance. We are very honored to have Dr. Javed Ali sir, a distinguished academician and researcher in the field of pharmaceutical science. Sir has done completed his PhD in pharmaceutical science in 2000, and after earning his MPharm in pharmaceutics as a gold medalist in 1996, and his BPharm also as a gold medalist in 1994 from Jamia Hamdard University, New Delhi. He further strengthened his international research exposure as a postdoctoral fellow at the Institute of Pharmaceutical Technology, University of Frankfurt, Germany in 2005. Currently, Sir Dr. Ali is served as a professor and head of the Department of Pharmaceutics at the School of Pharmaceutical Education and Research, Jamia Hamdard, New Delhi. He is also the in charge of intellectual property management cell of the university, with more than 28 years of rich experience in teaching, research, mentoring, and academic administration. He has made remarkable contribution to pharmaceutical education and research. Overall, the course of his academic career, he supervised more than 100 MPharm dissertation and successfully guided 52 PhD scholar with 8 more currently pursuing their doctoral research under his supervision. He has served as an external PhD examiner for several Indian and foreign universities and has contributed as a paper coordinator for UGC e-Pathshala under the Ministry of Education, Government of India. Dr. Ali has received research funding from various prestigious agencies, including the UGC, then CSIR, ICMR, SERB, DST, AICT, DBT, FIP, Netherlands, and various industries. He has honored as a distinguished scientist fellow at King Saud University, Saudi Arabia, with research grant of 1,25,000 US dollar. His excellence in teaching is recognized uh, through the numerous prestigious awards, including the INSA Teachers Award, the National Technical Teachers Award by AICT, APTI Pharmacy Teachers of the Year Award in 2024, the UGC Research Award 2014, and IPA Distinguished Educator and Research Award by USA, along with the multiple national and international best paper and teaching awards. Now, Dr. Ali is an outstanding publication record and more than 460 research papers in reputed journals. He hold a 9 Indian patent granted under the and author books and invited book chapters in the areas of novel drug delivery system. His research impact is exceptional, and with H index of 90 on Google Scholar and 79 on Scopus, and more than 32,000 citations on Google Scholar, he has been ranked among the world top 2% scientists in pharmacy and pharmacology, as per the Stanford University study from 2020 onwards. With such illustrious academic and research profile, we are truly privileged to have Dr. Javed Ali as our speaker for this faculty development program. I heartily welcome you, sir, and request you to please start the session.
Can
Hello.
you just confirm that the PPT is visible and it is there. Hello,
Yeah.
can you confirm?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It is visible.
Okay.
Thanks,
Visible.
sir, for
So okay.
audible
So
and visible.
a very
Thanks.
warm. Actually, now it is warm. Good afternoon to all of you. And at the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Sunil Amrutkar, Dr. Prashant Pingle, and Dr. Vijay B. Lombe for inviting me to interact with the participants of 1 week international e-FDP, which fostering research innovation, academic excellence in pharmacy education. So I was just wondering that what I should talk with the participant of this conference, and accordingly it came to my mind that we should talk about academic leadership and governance, which is the key time. And nowadays, emphasis after some period of time is being made on that way. When we talk of academic leadership, it is basically guidance and strategic direction, because this guidance is to the subordinate and a strategic direction within an educational institution to promote the key areas of an educational institution, that is the teaching, learning and research. Because when we talk of educational institution, for all stakeholder, teaching, learning and research is the prime motto as such, right? And this academic leadership effectiveness is basically the outcome of when you have leadership roles and you have also the competencies, right? So these competencies and the roles together bring you as a academic leader in the educational institutions as such. Now these leadership competencies are talking about the competencies within yourself, the competencies for leading others, and the competencies for leading the organization. Because you work for yourself as a self motivator, you work for others as an external motivator, and you work for the organization because the success of the organization lies with you and your success lies with the success of the organization. So it is a symbiosis, and accordingly you grow, the organization grow, and the organization grow, you grow, and accordingly this symbiosis go on. So in order to have a leading organization and the competencies, that is the, you should have social intelligence, you are problem solver, and you are able to manage conflict at various levels of stakeholder, maybe teachers, maybe students, maybe employer and the employee taken by your organization and so on. And you have those competencies for decision making also, because many decisions, particularly in the educational institutions, are to be taken promptly because of one or the other situation. So you have that intelligent quotient for decision making. And then setting and sharing a vision. As a visionary, you set and share a vision for the organization. And whenever a change in the management is required, that is also is one of the competencies, and how you can already accommodate the management available and then changing the role so that the outcome is efficient and effective. Innovation, bringing innovation, which is the key thrust nowadays in the educational institution, and entrepreneurship to be introduced and to be brought into the academic culture as such. When we talk of competencies for leading others, is like you have a good interpersonal skills and you have those emotional intelligence, and that intelligence is going to connect with the people, because this emotional intelligence only is going to connect you as a teacher to the student, among peers, among management and the subordinate, among leaders and the followers and so on. And you have that trustworthiness and the coaching abilities and teaching abilities, and inclusiveness, both you are teaching your and your students inclusively, without considering their religion, caste, creed, racism and so on, and accordingly you are also meeting your peers in the same fashion. And then managing people, if you are at the administrative level, then managing your team, how, what role they are going to do it. So when we talk of competencies for leading the organization and then competencies for leading others, comes through the competencies you have within, that is learning, you learning to know, learning to do, and that is going to tell you that you have always a thirst for learning. And in case you have joined academic institution after an industrial, time over, where you have spent some time in the industry, so that is also going to teach you a lot of competencies in handling peers, in handling subordinate, in handling student, and particularly bringing certain industrial perspective to the academic institution, and then managing yourself and having that courage to say no to the work not to be done, to say the work to be done for those assignment provided to you, and organizing citizenship behavior that is having a harmonious environment within the academic institution. So the key points when we talk of is the focusing on shaping academic vision and the institutional goals. Now, these institutional goals may be short term and they may be long term. Short term means within 2 years, what change you would like to bring as a academic leader in your institutional, and say after 10 years, what major change you would like to see as an institution. So your vision and your goals should be both short term and long term, involving decision making on curriculum, research, and faculty affairs. Most of the institution, when you see, they start from UG, and then you have to come up with a goal that you would like to make your UG college to a PG college, and then slowly moving into research area. So that decision is to be made, and the decision to be made is like curriculum, for example, in many of the academic institution, being a board of member to so many research studies and the board of studies meeting, I've seen that, those institutions which want to bring a change in the curriculum, they are bringing it. Though PCI has mandated 2014 Gazette notification, and now shortly is going to also update one of the new curriculum. So they have brought into what fits as per their local and the national need. And they have introduced some of the courses like human ethics, they have introduced constitutional learning, they have introduced entrepreneurship, type of courses to be done through self-learning mode and so on. So decision making and then implementation in order to come up with better curriculum, and accordingly research and faculty affairs, like in putting into that no one is left out, and teaching their faculty subordinate to work as a team, and then a team in which maybe you have a good researcher and he's going to mentor those who are not in good research, and then slowly you can bring whole team as a researcher team as such, right? Balancing between evolving needs of the education now, and many a times, the 2020 NEP guidelines, they mandated certain changes to be done. Some of the institution before the this implementation of the new education, new curriculum for PCI, they have already entered into credit or non-credit courses, particularly autonomous institution and the universities which have flexibility to add certain courses in order to meet the need of the education. Enhancing collaboration among stakeholders, right? Very important collaboration, not only student. Suppose you have a multi-institutional campus, so collaboration within the various institutional sample engineering or artificial science or data management sciences, collaborating with pharmacy and things like that, among stakeholder, among teachers, among students, among alumni and the student, right? So a lot of institutions have also started shadowing in which, the a very eminent alumni is going to give an internship to students who is being chosen by them to give a shadow practice and so on. And in order to have better collaboration also, the industry immersion program have also started, where many academic institutions have introduced this industry immersion collaboration, where teachers are trained, they are practiced in industry. And then most importantly, encouraging innovation and academic integrity, because that is the need of the hour. Integrity, ethics, and so on, and innovation is the need of the NEP and the government mandate for Viksit Bharat for 2047 as well. So when we talk of academic capacity, it is the academic credibility and reputation, doing community services, and institutional reputation enhancement. So when you are going to have academic credibility and reputation in terms of the output, maybe your perception at the level of an NIRF or some other accolades or accreditation processes, and when you are doing community services, because community services are important part and parcel of accreditation cycles, and accordingly these outreach activity is also going to enhance reputation. So in within the academic capacity, how you govern, right? That is the major important part. Leadership capacity, like leadership competencies, management skill, team management, and culture related skills, which I've just talked about in the previous slides. Teaching capacity in terms of teaching excellence, and most importantly, mentoring excellence. So this mentoring is not only for mentoring student, but senior staff also mentoring the junior staff or the new entrant as well. Personal and interpersonal capacity like influencing, communication skill, conflict resolution, self-regulation, and empathizing. That is also very important, because if you are not working like with humility and empathy, always student will have a distance among the teacher and the student. So you have to be inclusive, empathetic, and you are also having a good interpersonal skills as such. Academic leadership can bring a transformative and collaborative change in higher education, and accordingly you can see that in the organizational factors, organization's culture and type of institution can bring a change in this leadership, right? And the culture of the academic institution particularly is residing main based on the academic leadership. What type of leadership mindset is there, and accordingly that will percolate at all level of organization. Interpersonal factors like perceptions on leadership, the level of trust, and the academic discipline is also a part of creating an environment where you can work as an academic leader. Personal attribute incorporating like credibility, own perception of leadership, ability to balance roles, community development and the community engagement, and conflict resolution. These are all the part of academic leadership. When we talk of leadership and management, this comes with vision, and this vision should be inspiring within the ethics and the support and the decision making management as such, right? When you compare leadership and management, in the leadership develops and articulate a vision, establishes directions, develop change strategies. However, management is going to execute plans, improve present, create detailed steps and timetable. So that is managing the goals and the goal setting. In the leadership, the focus is on people, look outward, see the forest. Whereas management is going to concentrate on issues and look inward and sees the trees only, right? Who are my, team? Who are the men? But here it is talking about holistic. Leadership is talking about holistic, where whole forest is the people as such, right? Employee relations, empowering colleagues, trust and love. You have a democratic way, meetings are held, employee inputs are taken into. However, managing is controlling subordinates, directs and coordinate. A notice come, a circular come, that is to be implemented. That is the management or managerial skills. The mode of execution and operation: does the right things inspire, create change? Does the right thing manage, change, controls, and organize to solve problem? Serve subordinate. The problem solving is the point, right? But here in the leadership, you may bring a change in order to come up with a harmonious type of resolution. Governors use, when you talk of governance under leadership, it is use influence, uses conflict, and act decisively, inspires and energizes others to overcome barriers. Under management, uses authority, avoid conflicts, and act responsibly, organized to solve problem. The outcome, basically, under leadership is a potentially revolutionary change. However, the management stick to the consistent key results. What are the results? What are the KPI, key performance indicator? That is their target. But You are bringing a holistic revolutionary change as a leader. So core responsibility of academic leader will be developing and updating curriculum as a teacher, fostering scholarly activity, motivating student, bright student, motivating slow learners for scholarly activity and so on should also be part of an academic leader. Encouraging services and outreach, developing mentoring and coaching faculty and staff, and creating a supportive and productive work environment and culture. So basically, the responsibility lies as a motivator, right? Because some students and the peers or the teachers, they have their own self motivation. So as an academic leader, you have to polish those self motivation so that they excel in their academic journey. When you talk of the academic leadership and the academic management, so academic leadership is going to work on the values of academic values and identities through informal role and interpersonal influences. However, academic management will work for academic tasks and processes in order to come up with purpose, goals, and objective. And self leadership is going to bring a change in the academic work, leading others. So that will also be one of the academic activity. Now, what is the role of faculty in academic leadership? So the role is they serve on academic committees and decision-making bodies. So their role is very crucial. The board of studies or the research advisory council meetings or the student research advisory committee, they should not be. You should not be a mere spectator. You should give your input. You should talk about so that some change and some constructive change should come. So that is also very important. And this will lead to a curriculum development and assessment activities, right? So many times, beside this academic committees, we had also program committees. So many, when it was implemented, how to implement and how to monitor practice school, how to monitor project work. So it took almost like 4 or 5 years to come up with a strategy for an effective and efficient type of practice school and the project work. Besides this, very important nowadays, the third is an outreach activity and community engagement, which we talk about. And this was already in the manual for NAC earlier, and it later on now in the new binary system also they talk about research and community engagement. So innovation through research. So you bring some innovation in research, which has application in community as well. Represent departments in institutional forums, right? So here I am representing my department in institutional forum. You come across my name, you come across my department name, and what type of activities I'm involved into. That is representing one of the academic leadership. Mentoring students and junior colleagues many times, and the earlier previous slides also where I mentioned that mentoring is not only for the students but is also for the junior faculty members. The vision and mission alignment in terms of ensuring clarity and coherence in academic direction, because vision and mission is going to give a clarity for the academic direction in the coming years, right, for an institution. Guiding long-term planning and resource allocation, what I'm talking about, that you set long-term goals, right, and you plan accordingly with budget allocations at how to come up, helps measure progress and outcomes, right? So timely involving yourself to measure the progress and outcomes. And if progress is of not that level, or you have already achieved the progress and the outcome, then accordingly that is to be changed, revised, so that you come up with new yardsticks for vision and mission alignment. Promotes unity and shared purposes, informs stakeholder expectations and responsibility. So, since vision and mission alignment as an academic leadership involve all stakeholders, so you that should also be meeting the expectation of the stakeholders and the responsibilities of them. Now, these challenges which are being faced at the level of academic leadership is to bring work life balance, right? Work life balance. And this should be like balance in what, like, we have already challenged, see the challenge in COVID-19, that the The blessing in disguise is like digital teaching learning methodologies, right? Pedagogy, ICT, and so on, which has brought a digital transformation, right? Sitting in Delhi, I'm talking to the participant throughout India, and I don't know how many participants are presently attending this session, but large number. I hope that large number are doing it. Access and success, and the challenge is managerialism because you have a management which is working. Maybe you have so many plans, vision, where you would like to bring a change as a uh, academic leader, but the managerialism being brought through management is a challenge. There may be academic and administrative interference, and you have to confine to the scope of work, right? And accordingly, that is also important. So you talk about leader, you talk about leadership, at the same time you talk about ethics, training, creating values, so all intermingled together. And now coming to how you define leadership. Leadership is ability to influence others, thoughts, behavior, and action, right? So you have a very impressive personality in terms of your thoughts and behavior, that it influences other. It involves providing direction and clarity to a group or organization, right? When you are presenting something, you give a clarity, and your thoughts are going to motivate the listener. That should be the spirit of leadership as such, right? Leader motivates and inspire people to strive for a shared vision or goal. So all teamwork, his a leader is going to join the team to work for a common goal. Effective leader foster engagement, trust, and loyalty among team members. So it is a democratic setup where everybody is involved and everybody is loyal, and it is the assumption that everybody is working for the institution. Leadership often extends beyond formal authority, enabling adaptive and strategic changes, right? So as per the strategy you change, you make adaptation, and so on. This is also being done. Leadership is not about titles or position. It is about impact, influence, and inspiration. So that is also there. The role of good leader is leader has a clear sense of purpose. Just 1 minute. So leaders have a clear sense of purpose and long-term goals. I have told you that is the role of a good leader. He has a clarity in short-term and long-term goals. He is going to inspire and motivate, and is also going to make effective decision, right? And articulate ideas clearly so that it percolates in the team as such, right? It develop others' potential and promote the teamwork. Why is leader important? Leader is important because he's going to guide the institution, is going to take you forward, establishes vision, develops and implements strategies, allocates and controls resources, chooses key employees, shapes culture, and affects organizational performance, project image to the people. And I think these are all self-explanatory, and you can understand that a leader has very multiple role, not only as a visionary, but as a strategy, as a finance controller, as an employer, as creating a culture within the institution, and making the organizational performs in excellence, right? And bringing a perception to the public. When we are talking about, so far I have talked about self motivation and so on, being a motivator. So these self leadership is also very important, right? Because when you talk of human performance, there are drivers to the human performance, right? So you are connecting with people competencies, aligning with self competencies, acting with purpose competencies, and thinking with know how competencies. That is through your natural tendencies as a leadership qualities, right? And then in case they are less or they are developing, you have to motivate them, right? And maximize energy to bring deliverables for this one. What is governance in higher education? Because so far I was talking about academic leadership and now coming governance in higher education. And we know that governance refers to the structural structures, policies, and the processes through which higher education institutions are directed and controlled. This is ensuring fairness and accounting and ensuring transparency and accountability and fairness because they are set policies, set rules to be followed, set processes to be followed. And the governance are through various levels in the academic institution, through board of governance, right, through various commissions, right, and then quality of law of governance and the governance itself. So when we talk of levels of governance and HEIs, higher education institution, UGC, well known, University Grant Commission at the in the federal structure, in the central structure, right? And then you have state governments, right, where state government also regulate institutions. So institution, broadly speaking, they are like central institution, state institution. And then you have regulations, right? So many regulations being taken, being percolated by UGC at the state and the central government level. And then university, university may be deemed status type, which have their own constituent colleges, or affiliating university controlling the institution as such, right? So when coming to this, when you talk of development stages of HEI, first of all, when the new institutions open into it survive, it just try to survive. And accordingly, sustainability is one of the feature, right? It try to sustain itself, differentiate itself from the other institution, makes a monopoly, and then go on development. So that are development stages of HEI. And UGC has created a NAC, that is National Assessment Accreditation Council, and which talks about excellence, credibility, and relevance. There are so many guidelines which are available, and you know the transformation which NAC is going on, and accordingly, this is also regulating the education institutions as well. The National Education Policy 2020 higher education policy is talking about so many aspects, right? Which emphasizing on innovation, entrepreneurship, skill development, ability enhancement courses, and so on. So I'm not going to into detail of what NEP mandate is, but just to talk about that how various policies and the processes are being implemented from time to time. So institutionals are restructuring and consolidating these guidelines to have governance structure as such. HEI governance and the curriculum design, research and innovation, pedagogical practices are always coming as a guideline, practices, and so on. State governments are doing regulatory oversight, they are monitoring and evaluating, they are funding and doing some resource allocation. These are also the activities of UGC at the central level. And also the UGC is not doing, but state government is appointing and staffing, establishing approval of HEIs, and also implementing NAP 2020. However, recently UGC has, being will be in the coming time, because it is under process, will be replaced by a commission, right, which is Higher Education Commission of India, and it has been renamed. The bill has been renamed as Viksit Bharat Shiksha Addiction Bill, right, and the bill creates a unified regulatory system. National chairperson will be there, who is going to oversee four independent council. The first council is NHERC, which is regulation, approval, compliance, and handling the regulatory aspect of higher education. Then we have NEC, National Accreditation Council, which is going to accredit and quality grade, responsible for evaluating and grading institutional quality. Then you have HECC, which is Higher Education Grants Council, something to do with UGC type, where they are going to fund, grant, rule, manage financial allocation, and establishing funding guidelines. And HEC, which is Journal Education Council, which is talking about academic standard, learning outcomes, credits, set academic benchmarks, credit framework, a structural reset in the higher education, where you will also see a more emphasis on outcome-based education. So NHERC, NEC, HECC, and HEC is the new vision of India, which talks about the Higher Education Commission of India as such. The key points here is it is ensuring alignment with institutional mission, national policies, and societal need, setting the framework for decision making, accountability, and performance, right? Because some allocation is there, funding is there, and if you are not able to make decision, then what is the point? Involving multiple stakeholders, governing boards, administration, and faculty and student, and balancing academic freedom with institutional accountability. Governance is a process of making and enforcing decision within an organization or society. It encompasses decision making, rule setting, enforcement, mechanism, and guide functioning of an organization. And the effective governance is going to promote transparency, foster trust among stakeholders, and ensuring organization of society remaining responsive and resilient in achieving goals. And when you talk of eight principle of good governance, it is a rule of law. If you are going to treat everybody as per law, then there is no issue, no resentment, no conflict. If it is transparent, consensus oriented, right? Everybody, is supposed to participate should participate, and then consensus should come for a policy. Accountability, effectiveness and efficiency, equity and inclusiveness, very important. Responsiveness, that is the response to the various demands and the needs as such, and the participation of various stakeholders. So some of the principles of good governance is what we have talked about out of the eight: transparency, responsiveness, integrity, which is talking about ethical, inclusiveness, and so on, accountability and participation as such. When we differ the leadership and governance, I have already differentiated between leadership and management. Here I'm talking about the leadership and the governance, where the focus of leadership is centered on guiding and influencing people, whereas governance focuses on establishing and following structure and policies, right? So there people are treated here, policies are treated. Leadership often deals with softer, more intangible aspect of managing people and culture, while governance is concerned with concrete system and procedure. So every person is being treated with the set procedure. But here, leadership sometimes may be like softer in terms of managing people and culture, because people also behave in a different fashion and way. Some are very casual, some are very disciplined, sincere, and so on. So there is leadership identifies those differentiation, and accordingly has certain softer rules for softer people. The primary objective of leadership is to inspire and motivate towards a vision, whereas governance aims to ensure accountability and compliance. So compliance is the governance, and the motivation towards to achieve a vision is that of the leadership. The approach for leaders often employ a more personal and charismatic approach, while governance relies on formal rules and regulation. Leadership can be more adaptive and flexible, responding to changing situation, whereas governance is typically more rigid and structured. Leadership influences through personal charisma and vision, while governance exerts control through policies and procedures. Leaders are responsible for inspiring and guiding teams, while governance bodies are responsible for ensuring compliance and ethical conduct as such. So it is very mechanical. When you talk of governance, it is mechanical. However, leadership has an emotional intelligence, interpersonal skill, and so on, which talks about motivating and bringing a very positive, energetic, culture within the organization. And leadership and governance work hand in hand. The synergy between leadership and governance is crucial for the success of any society, because in the absence of any policy, procedure, and this one, it will be, without any constitution then. Leadership ensure influencing team to goal directed behavior, which has been laid down under governance policies and so on. On the other hand, robust governance provides a framework and a structure that guide leaders, decisions, and actions. Leadership and governance impact various spheres of life, including politics, business, education, and non-profit sector as such. By nurturing ethical leadership and fostering good governance, we create a foundation for progress, stability, and societal well-being. So that can also be seen as such. Leadership and governance are intertwined forces that shape the destiny of communities and nations. Strong and ethical leadership coupled with transparent and effective governance provide the necessary condition for a flourishing and inclusive society. So both are required, because leadership is talking about the interpersonal relationship and then treating people in terms of their qualities. But governance talks about transparency, talks about policies and the procedure as such. So you can have this flow diagram which talks about the governing body, how in at the college level, how governance is being percolated down the lines. And when you talk of governance, you talk about leadership and management, that is GLM. And management M execute plans, collaborate with curriculum specialists and ensure implementation. Curriculum development CD under GLM framework. Leadership contributes by offering vision and insight during curriculum planning, right? So you are leader and you are offering vision and insight during curriculum planning. Governance refers to structural development such as NEP 2020 mandate management system, curriculum development, management I have already talked about, where we are talking about board of studies participating in curricular development, contributing as a member of board of studies or academic council, providing your insight, collaborating with curriculum specialists and administrator to create content as per NEP 2020, university guideline, council guideline, HEI guidelines, and board of studies. Teaching and learning, active engagement, inspiring students to achieve high level of success, motivating both bright and fast learners and the slow learners, using a student-centered pedagogy, use of technology-assisted like LMS, learning management system, customized student feedback for effective learning, very important part and parcel, because only on the basis of student feedback you can come to a conclusion whether you are actually having an effective teaching learning or not. And a very adaptive curriculum deployment. Student assessment, this is like, you have midterm, sessional, semester, and then declaring result. Use of CGPA and KPI for student performance, evaluating learning outcome as a measure of student performance. Critical evaluation of formative assessment, assessment of cognitive skill, and very importantly, nowadays, when we talk of question paper and all those things, now they should be COPO, course outcome and program outcome mapped, and particularly as per the revised Bloom taxonomy, that is level 1 to level 6, and putting all level of recall, understanding, remembrance, analyzing, critical thinking, and higher order thinking skills, and all those for the student assessment. And most importantly, student assessed on the basis of inclusiveness, and accordingly all students should be included within the assessment process. It should not be too heavy for them, it should not be too low level for them. When we talk of research, it is source of revenue, innovation, and knowledge generation, right? And futuristic areas of research are to be identified. You go for patents and copyrights, doing good publication, creating industry academia linkages, getting consultancy projects, or troubleshooting for industry. Research facilities, training of faculty, and consultancy as well. Professional development, when we talk of qualified and competent teachers, bringing ideation, skilling, and proficiency, and doing goal setting, both as a personal goal setter for myself in short term way and long term way, exploring required learning opportunities, joining faculty development program, quality improvement program, induction program, works hands-on training programs, and so on. And further the education cause and contribution to positive change in the student as a mentor, as a facilitator, as a supervisor, bringing a very positive change in the student as such. Academic advising, a very important part and parcel of a teacher's role, which is beyond teaching learning, which is a student support activity, mentoring, counseling, guidance, and differential teaching learning to be used, right? Many a times, if a student who is very weak, then a different type of a teaching learning methodology to be used for a student who is a slow learner and so on. So you have to personalize teaching learning also, which is also known as differential teaching learning as such. Learning resources, in-house publications, right? Creation of curated publication, your own publications, latest one which are supplementing the material to be provided for your syllabus as such. Authorship of textbook and reference books, authorship of chapters in edited volume, and consistent reading and writing, right? You are always a lifelong learner. Teacher, student, and who is in the education field is always a lifelong learner, and which is one of the major aspect of program outcome also. So there should be a consistency in reading and writing and enhancement of knowledge as such. So, teamwork to create learning content, modern approaches like pedagogy, constant updating, accountable students assessment, goal setting for professional development, efficient and effective networking. So, when you are upgrading your competencies, staying relevant in profession as a role model, and improving collaboration and network. Globally competent and professional teachers, they have goal setting, progressive curriculum, research, student success, and accountability. And again, this can come through competencies like critical thinking, problem solving, managing information, creativity and innovation, communication and leadership, and so connect concept through subject of the study, high level thinking, multidisciplinary approach, and use of experience is going to create knowledge and ability to connect concept. This knowledge is going to bring skills, hands-on experience, real life situation tackling. So these skills are going to bring an attitude of commitment, better engagement, and teamwork. And this is leading to success. So you have a ask component, right? And this is leading to a success, your community success, to your employees, success to your peers, students, and your own development as such. So what we are going to use is competencies for our goal, for our mission as a teacher, as a professional. So these competencies are important. So I would like to conclude over here that we have to strengthen academic leadership and governance. You have to identify your best practice as a teacher, polish it, take it to a next higher level, and you are known for that. For example, we have so many teachers over here in Jamia Hamdard where some are known for their teaching, some are known for their community engagement, some are known for outreach activities, some are known for consultancy work, some are known for their research ability, some are known for applying funding and getting funding. So many diverse, some are very uh, taking care of cricket club, some are taking responsibility of badminton club, so many clubs like literary club, dramatic club, and so on. So they have identified their strength, and they are known because of that strength as such. So strengthen academic leadership and governance, which form the foundation of an institutional excellence and sustainability. Effective leaders align vision, mission, and competencies to promote innovation and integrity. Collaboration among faculty, administrator, and stakeholder enhances academic outcomes. Continuous professional development strengthens institutional credibility. So, in doing individually and doing in a team, you will see a drastic change in the outcomes as such. Student centered and outcome based education ensures meaningful learning. Embracing reforms promotes transparencies and global competitiveness. Continuous improvement is the key to educational excellence. Thank you for your patience listening, and I will be happy to answer any queries which you would like to have. Right? Hello. मेरा सेशन चल रहा है अभी खत्म हुआ अब क्या जाऊंगा खाना नहीं 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 खाना खा के आ रहा हूँ जाने से भी है अभी एक बार पूछ लेता हूँ तो कैसे मैं आपको प्लेट दूँ एक वैसी वो ऐसी थर्मोकोल की सी तो कभी आप बता से मंगाता बस थोड़ा सा ही ज़्यादा नहीं और वो ऑयल ना जी after some time.
Am I audible, sir?
I was just wondering there was no one because I completed about 5 minutes back.
Sorry, sir. There was some technical issue. Was there?
No
Uh,
problem.
okay. Thank you. Is there any question from the audience? The session is open for discussion. All participants having query, they are requested to post their queries in the chat box or questions.
I think either they understood everything or they did not understood anything, right? So that can be the reason. You just tell me,
I will just summarize. Okay. Uh, so I will just summarize the session. Uh, Sir, Dr. Javed Ali, sir, they have emphasized on academic leadership and governance, which forms the foundation for institutional excellence and sustainability. So they focused on what is academic leadership effectiveness, what are the leadership competency, which is leading for the organization, what are the competency for leading others, what are the competency which are leading for yourself in the institution. Sir basically focus on the various key points related to shaping the academic vision and institutional goal, involve the decision making on curriculum, research, and faculty affairs, encouragement of innovation and academic integrity, enhances collaboration among the stakeholders, balance between the traditional and evolving needs at the education. Sir also focused on academic capability, teaching capacity, leadership capacity, etc. They more emphasized on the core responsibility of academic leaders, meaning in terms of developing the curriculum, in terms of fostering the scholar activity, in encouragement of services. Sir also focused on difference between academic leadership and academic management, the role of faculty in academic leadership, how to align vision mission in the institution, what are the challenges which are faced by the institution. Then in second part, sir has mainly focused on the role of governance in higher education. So what is governance? What are the bodies that are mainly involved in the governance of education? Then most important, sir focuses on 8 principles of good governance, which mainly include participation, rule of law, transparency, etc. And also at the end, sir has focused on upgrading the various competency in the organization. So I think this session was very useful and fruitful for all the teaching faculties. So being the member of MSG Copper, I will request Javed Ali sir to please accept this token of appreciation and love.
thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you, sir. Thank you, sir.
I think you will send it by email to me, right? Okay. This one
Yes,
you are
sir.
going to by email.
Oh,
Right.
yes, sir. We will send you, sir. Don't worry. Issue. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for
Thank you for your
joining.
time, and I take your permission to leave. Thank you very much. Right, and I hope
Thank you.
participant really will motivate themselves to be academic leader, right, in the coming time. Thank you very much.
Definitely, sir. Definitely. Definitely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much to all the participants for attending today's session. Tomorrow we'll begin with the session according to the scheduled time. So I request you to join using the link that will be forwarded on your groups. Thank you and have a nice day.